Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very brief but introductory video or stream towards the latest APB Reloaded tournament that will be happening later this week, or starting later this week. So we're going to go off with a bit of an introduction to begin with, just to explain what we're doing here, and then we'll be getting to drawing the teams together for the first and second round of the tournament. We have 10 teams. We'll go through all of them, and well, only one will win. We'll overview some of the prizes as well, I believe, since we have that information. But for more information, if you don't catch the stream, or well, rather if you don't catch what you need to hear from the stream, please make sure to head over to the Community Events Team Discord, as you can see on the screen above me, above me, it's ! Discord for more information. So, what are we doing here today? Well, I would like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Community Events Team, Run the Streets, the first APB Reloaded tournament that has had actually a lot of community involvement in it. There have been attempts in the past before to start a tournament setting in APB, but it's never been really the same amount of effort has never really been put into making and maintaining the tournament as the team that are behind it this time have. So there's a lot more structure involved this time around, and thankfully it should be a lot better. We have a kind of structure in terms of how the tournament is going to be held, how the players are going to play each other, and more importantly, how you're going to be able to watch it. If you're not taking part, you'll be able to at least view the tournament right here on the Community Events Team channel. So you'll be given announcements as to when the rounds are taking place, when the matches are happening, and you'll be able to watch in and hopefully join in on the fun as we watch as we watch the contestants go through, and we'll see which team comes out on top. So, I should probably give you some more information on the rules, the rule set, and how things are going to happen for this tournament. So without further ado, let's get on to the framework for this tournament, and most importantly, the rule set. So it's a 3v3 rule set with very limited restrictions. There's only been a few modifications that have been banned and a few weapons that have been banned, but the idea behind this tournament is to leave it as open as possible, and to leave it as open to the team's discretion on what they would want to take to the match. There was a lot of debate and discussion prior to this announcement as to what the rule set should be for this, but the final decision is a much more lenient approach to the weapons, the cars, the modifications, that sort of thing. The idea is to leave it as open as possible to give the true APB experience to the players. There's a few outliers that have been banned, and they can be seen on the screen, but the idea behind it is to make sure that no one feels shortchanged by not being able to take their favourite weapon, minus one or two outliers, which can cause problems for the game. So it's all down to you, it's all down to your team's decision on how you want to approach certain scenarios, and more importantly, what weapon you think is going to be the most appropriate for the scenario, for the area you're in. Remote detonator has been banned because, as many people realise, remote detonator is a bit of a gimmicky strategy which doesn't really revolve around the true experience that APB provides, where APB is more focused on shooting, using cover, using your teammates to help move into different areas and objectives. Remote detonator doesn't really fit that role as well as you would say a lot of the other strategies in the game. So as a result, remote detonator has been banned. There's been a lot of talk about the JG and the HVR being banned, but as it currently stands, the JG still is pretty dominating in close quarters. Now, in those instances where there are a lot of close quarter areas, we'd most likely see JGs being stacked, and it would be very difficult for an attacking team to really make a move on the objective, hence why the JG has been banned. The HVR is slightly, well, it's a bit of a no-brainer, honestly. The HVR still stands to this day as the most ridiculous support weapon in the game. In teams larger than, well, 3 or larger, the HVR still is one of the most deadly weapons in the game. However, in 2v2s and if you're not working as a team, the HVR can fall apart. But it's because of how strong the HVR can be in teams that know what they're doing is where the line has been drawn, and subsequently the HVR has been taken out. Simply because it doesn't, compared with all the other weapons in the game, it doesn't really cater towards the gameplay that we're expecting to see. But aside from that, it's fair game. So there's no restrictions on missions, no restrictions on vehicles. Explosives and LTL, JG, HVR and remote detonator are the only things banned this time round. So hopefully we'll be able to see some interesting gameplay going on. We'll see how the teams approach this, and more importantly, we'll see who can come out on top. But we're not done there. There's a little bit more to discuss with the rule system, so let's move on. So, when you start, there'll be an in-game coin flip to determine which team will be attacking and which team will be defending. It'll be an alternating role, so one team will attack, one team will defend, and then they'll swap over after each match. It'll be consistent of 6 attack missions, 3 defend, 3 attack. The team that is able to come out on top by a clear 2 victory win will be the team that goes through to the next round. In the event of a tie between the attacking and defending team, where both teams have accrued 3 wins each, there'll be a tiebreaker where 2 more matches will be played, and the team has to win by 2 clear round wins in order to get through. Or 2 missions have to be won in a row for that team to get through. Otherwise, it continues, and so on and so forth. If it goes on for so long, I'm guessing there will be a cut-off point, where it'll be, again, it'll be down to the management of CET to determine how long it should go on for, but we're not expecting it to go on for like 20 rounds or anything, so we should be okay there. Now, if any team manages to win 4 rounds in a row, they go straight through, obviously, because they've won the majority of the rounds. So, best of luck to everyone, and yeah, let's see how it goes. But we're not done yet. Now, it is a requirement as part of this tournament that each team must have at least one person streaming the footage, and everybody else needs to record the footage locally. So that we have a recording of each mission, so if there is any rule breaking, we can see it from each person's perspective. We also need to be able to determine who's won what round, and there'll be a 2-day waiting period after a match has been played to determine who's going through to the next round, just to confirm everything, make sure there's no rule breaking going on, etc, etc, and just to make sure fair play has been enacted during the match. If you can, please make sure at the end of the match that you upload to YouTube at 720p 60 FPS minimum, and please ensure to keep all voice chat and, well, chat and all kinds of communication included into the recordings to make sure that we've got as clear a picture as possible from each person's perspective. So that's for everyone participating. And as you see, if a group member fails to record a match, or if there is something wrong with the recording, the team will be disqualified from the tournament. So make sure that you've got everything ready to go and set up before you agree to when you're going to be doing your match. Now, some of these will be hopefully some of these will be watched via this channel on CET in the future, so you'll be able to hear commentators go at it to explain the matches, how it's going on, to see how things are going, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy it from that perspective. You'll obviously be able to enjoy the stream from directly the streamer's perspective, but CET will also be watching the action as well to commentate over what's going on, hopefully to make it a little bit interesting. So hopefully that'll be something of your interest. Now, one last thing to mention. We don't take kindly to cheating or griefing, and most importantly, we are very strict with the rules here. Using any programs like triggerbots, macros, or any sort of external internal cheats are not allowed. So varieties of firmware drivers, software drivers, or modified game files in any way that is against the existing terms of service provided by Little Orbit. If one or more players in your team have been previously banned by BattleEye or Easy Anti-Cheat, your entire team will be disqualified. No exceptions will be made to this rule. Now, if something happens during the match, or someone gets busted during the match and it's clear, then the match will be voided, the team will be disqualified, and the other team will automatically go through to the next round. Griefing is also not permitted in this tournament. That you should know what griefing is. So ramming vehicles deliberately out of the way, putting items in absolutely not accessible spots, that sort of thing. Now, if there's any sort of griefing in a mission which affects the mission in a negative way, the match will be voided and rescheduled. So if other people do join in to try and ruin it, then obviously the match will be rescheduled for a different time to make sure a clean experience is had by all. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road, but we will do what we can to keep things as smooth as possible and able for the teams to actually get their matches done. Now then, moving on, we've got to pull the teams out of the hat, but let's go through who we have as combatants for this tournament. So, we have 10 teams this time round, which is quite a nice turn up. There was a bit of a worry, I think, at the start where we weren't sure if we were going to get that many people in to actually play this tournament, but it was quite a good response, and we've got quite a lot of people here to take part in this tournament. There's quite a few nice prizes. We'll discuss the prizes in just a moment. But I do have the top hat. We have, as you can probably hear, the names in the hat, and we will be pulling them out of the hat in just a moment. But let's go through the teams and explain who we have. We have 125Hz / Fantasia, leaded, well, that team consists of Gromsy, Paper Duck, Amber Wind, with the sub as End. The teams are meant to be 3, but you can have a substitute as a 4th player if necessary. Next up we have Abstract, featuring Sumori, Chio, Lao, with a sub of Gatoron. Team 3 is Nekos in Pantsus, including Potsu, Scanter, and Infi. I think that's an NA team by the sounds of it. Team number 4 is God Complex, featuring Yoriku, Huisness, and SQPY. 5th, we've got Speed Tracker, featuring Neon QT, Excuse, Kissian. Our 6th team is Sharp CO, featuring Kasusi, Mr. Blue, Yeedman, and a substitute of Kissin. Next up, we've got Big Drama Boys, featuring Flogget, Sarcasm, and South Garden. Friday Fahrenheit is next, with Dogfish, Magician, and Nolan, with their substitute as Not Crazy Long. Zedwin Zwim team features Ice, Synth, and Cyber. And finally, Patevis, featuring subs, Aletted Mind, Nip, with a substitute of Glahunamoy. I can't pronounce that, I do apologise. I think I just counted the teams wrong. No, there are 10 teams, and that's all your 10 teams. Now, the format is as follows for the rounds. We have 10 teams, which means we can't have everyone start on the first round. Round 1 will have 4 teams, 4 teams, so 1 team versus another and 1 team versus another. The winners of that will go into round 2, where they will face another team, and then the rest of the teams will come in. So the extra 4 will be playing up against each other, and then round 2 will consist of the rest of the teams. So yes, unfortunately, given how many teams we have, 4 teams will be playing an extra match in this tournament. So apologies for that. Let me just bring up the... because I did have a picture here for this, but I do apologise, I don't have it to hand. Let me just grab this if I can find it. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so there'll be, in the first round, we'll have four teams going up against each other, and then round 2, the rest of the teams will be up against... the winners of the first round will go up against certain teams, and then the other 4 teams will be going up against each other as well. Then we have the semi-finals, and then the finals. Dates of when these matches will be taking place will be decided by the 2 teams, and you will have an announcement prior to this with plenty of time. But the tournament officially starts on September the 18th, which is this Friday. So, without further ado, we are going to pick the teams for round 1 of the tournament. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our first team, Abstract, will be going up against God Complex. Abstract, you're going up against God Complex for round 1. The second match for round 1. (125Hz / Fantasia) will be going up against Neckos in Pantsus. Now then, this is where things get a little bit tricky. So that's round 1. Now then, the winners of these 2 will go through to fight another team. We'll be picking those in just a moment. But for now, that is your round 1 teams. Next up, we've got round 2, which will consist of the other 4 teams going up against each other, and then the last 2 teams fighting the winners of round 1. So, round 2's teams are as follows. If I can find the papers. Zwim team will be facing off against Friday Fahrenheit. Zwim team, you are going up against Friday Fahrenheit. Right then. The 4th round. Sharp CO will be going up against Speed Tracker. Just get these in line here. Sharp CO, you'll be facing off against Speed Tracker, which means we've only got 2 teams left. Now, the winner between God Complex and Abstract will be fighting one of these teams, and the winners of the match between Neckos and Pantsus and 125Hz Fantasia will be fighting the other. So the next team that I'm about to pull out of the hat will be fighting God Complex or Abstract once their match has concluded. And that team is Patevis. You will be fighting either God Complex or Abstract in the second round, depending on who wins from that first match. Which means, with the last piece of paper, I can confirm that Big Drama Boys will be going up against either Nekos and Pantsus or 125Hz / Fantasia in round 2, depending on who wins from that. So, you've got your teams. We're going to open this up to questions for a couple of minutes. If there are any questions about the tournament that you wish to ask, now is the time. It was only going to be a short stream this, just to kind of do the announcement, but we'll hope to see you on the 18th of September. Officially, the tournament starts this Friday, yes. No, the rules are quite open at the moment, Scanter. Ah, we need to go through the prizes, actually, because I think the prizes have been announced. Bear with me one moment. So, further to this, we do have the prizes listed. How about the weapon patch? We'll talk more about the weapon patch tomorrow. But yes, so, further to this, the prizes for this tournament are as follows. The winning team will receive an NTEC 7C New Glory, an OCA Nano Connoisseur, an Obeya Cap 40 Sergeant, and €120. 40 euros to each participant of the team. The runner-up, or second place, will receive an NTEC 7 Ursus, 3.6 million APB dollars, and €60. 20 euros to each player. And in third place, you'll get an NTEC 7 Ursus, a 1.8 million APB cash payout, and 30 euros, so 20 euros per player. The two teams drawn from the 4th position onwards. The first team drawn from the 4th position will win 1.8 million APB cash out and 30 euros. And the second team will win a Tommy Gun, Hazardous, a Showstopper Thunder, an EOL Kickback, and 900,000 APBs. A special prize is reserved for one team only, and that team will receive a bit of an extra cash buyout as well, a cash out as well. But we'll reveal that later to the date. But nonetheless, any other questions that you have? Why is Firework Launcher not banned? The reason for that is they want to keep the rulings as open as possible this time round, just to see how it goes, with a few limited restrictions on what we have. There was a lot of discussion as to if it should be quite restrictive, very restrictive, or very lenient. And while it was very restrictive for a long time during the discussion process, we felt that that's not helpful to allow, it's not going to be helpful for players to get into the tournament if most of the weapons that they like aren't usable because they're banned. So to make it fair and to make it straightforward, the majority of the weapons are available for the tournament. Why is Kevlar 3 not banned? Again, it's not that good of a modification. You may see one person running Kevlar 3 and they'll get obliterated. All explosive weapons are banned, Meteora. Will the teams be posted in the Discord later? The teams are already in the Discord. The bracket will be posted in the Discord later. So, depending on what happens, I may try to commentate the match on the 18th if both teams that are participating in round 1 agree to that. So that would be God Complex and Abstract, and Nekos and Pantsus and 125 Hertz. If both of those teams wish to go ahead on the 18th, they can. But after that, there'll be a 2-day waiting period while we confirm the VODs and the recorded stream and the recorded footage. Flare gun is not banned, no. Actually it is, because it's counted as an explosive weapon. My mistake, sorry. The tournament starts officially this Friday, but will continue for a lot of, will continue for more than a week. Yes, so the flare gun and the firework launcher are banned, as they are counted as explosive weapons. A firebomb car is not banned, no. You can see a list of the participants and the rules on the official Discord. If you type !Discord into the chat, you'll get an invite to the Discord. I believe the matches will be hosted on Financial, as Financial is the more balanced of the 2 mission districts. It won't be a private district. The teams will have to agree to a time and a place for when they wish to carry out their match. Can you run with the item? I am not 100% sure about that one, Empty Pillow. I will pass that on to the team to find out exactly. That was something that was originally banned, but that might fall under the category of griefing, so probably not. Gameplay will be back on my channel, Dipsy, once I've finished this. Right. Well, if there are no further questions, we're going to call it there. Thank you all for turning up and tuning in to the official Run the Streets APB tournament team draw, as well as the rules and when to expect the tournament starting. So remember, it'll start this Friday on the 18th of September. And we hope to see you there. Please expect further updates on the Discord server for more information on when the teams are taking part, when the matches are happening, and who will be hosting the streams, so that you can tune in and watch the matches live. The community events team thanks you greatly, including all the people who've participated in getting this tournament happening, and thanks to everyone who is actually participating in the tournament as well. But thanks to you for all tuning in today. And to all the teams, I wish you the best of luck. And to everyone watching, I hope you have a great time. Let's make this a tournament to remember, and hopefully one of many for the future. That's all for today. Bye for now.